Hello, I'm Claire Louise Hay from BeHealing.com. I've made a new pick a card read. What's happening next in your love life? Now, to me, our love lives are a progression of us getting to know ourselves, learning to love ourselves, learning what we want in a relationship, what we don't want in a relationship, learning relationship skills along the way, and growing and progressing as a person until we find that relationship that is truly right for us. So I think it's a path and it's a journey. And what I want to find out in these readings is what is next for you in that relationship journey. So who's coming in next to give you that next lesson or that next piece of the jigsaw, and what's it all going to be about? So let's find out. Now, I've made 3 readings here. It's a timeless reading. Whatever you find in this video, it's good to watch. Each one of them has got a deeper dive to it. That's an extended reading that goes with it. So if you find that it is your story, could be a story, want it to be a story, then you might want to get that for even more. If you do, toward the end of these readings, I'll be popping a link for it up there. You can also find a link for that in the description box and in the comments below. So all you need to do is now is take your pick. Which one would you like? Would you like the crystal? The crystal is out with the Tending the Garden card. Or would you like the flower? The flower is out with a Night Magic card. Or would you like the shell? And the shell is out with the Seeker card. So take your pick now, and don't forget, click like on this video before you click off down there, leaving a comment as well, clicking on that subscribe button if you're new, because that's going to get you an entry into a prize draw for a free reading with me at the end of the month, as will buying the deeper dives as well. That gets you entered into the second prize draw as well for a free reading with me, so good luck with winning those. I do a today's tarot every single day of the year, and I go live 3 times a week in my Psychic Cafe show as well, where I give 1 question readings amongst other things. Now, if you want to book in for one of those 1 question readings, you can do so on my website at any time. Find a link for that in the description box below and also up there too. You can book in at any time because I make them available to everybody. At the start of the live show, I do all the pre-book readings and then send you the link to the replay, so you don't need to be able to make it live. Alternatively, you can come live. You can book while I'm live too. You're very welcome to do that. And I'd love to connect with your energy, so I do love it when people come live, so I can do that. I also make 3 of these love picker card reads a week as well. Let me know in the comments below what you want the next ones to be about, and I'll do that for you. And what else do I do? Offer private readings as well. I offer private readings from my website, BeHealing.com. Now, it's the only way you can get a reading with me is from my website, BeHealing.com. I never message people and, try and get you to book in for a reading myself. It's scammers that do that, so please don't be sucked in by them. But if you do want to book a private reading in with me, you can find a link for that in the description box below, and also one up there too. I get those out within 48 hours of you ordering them, often within 24 hours of you ordering them, because I want it to be timely, right? When you want that guidance, that's when you ask for it, and so I try and get it to you as soon as you can, so you've got that information. Anyway, enough waffle. Take your pick now. Which one would you like? Would you like the crystal, the flower, or the shell? I'll see you in your reading. So if you chose the crystal, then this one's for you. Crystals, let's find out what's coming up next in your love life. Now, as usual, crystals, there's going to be a deeper dive to this. That's an extended reading that goes with it. So if you find that it is your story, could be a story, want it to be a story, then you might want to get that for even more. If you do, toward the end of the reading, I'll be popping a link for it up there. You can also find a link for that in the description box and in the comments below. So what's coming up next for you in your love life? I do believe that our love life is a series of us getting to know ourselves, our own hearts, being able to love, the lessons and all of that kind of thing, bringing the right people into our lives so that we've got this progression of learning until we get that our ideal relationship. So what's coming up next for you in that progression? Hope. Okay. So being hopeful. So this might be you meeting somebody that you're really hopeful about. I think, when we're young, we kind of go in blindly, don't we? We can't really choose very well because we've got no experience about what we don't want, what we do want. And so we perhaps very superficial choices, or just based on an attraction, we choose them. And then we're like, oh, I don't like that about them, and I don't like that about them, but I do like that about them, and I do like that about them. And so we get a little bit pickier as we go along, right? And so, I don't know, I'm just guessing with this hope card coming out that you might be really picky now. I know I am. And so you could be meeting someone and be really hopeful. Tending the garden. But this is about really getting to know somebody, tending the garden, putting the time and the effort in and asking the questions and really getting to know somebody. or nurturing a relationship. Yeah, it feels like that to me. I think everything takes effort, you know, if you want to do it well. And yeah, there needs to be a level of investment for everybody, you know, not just investment as in us, you know, messaging each other back and things like that, or inviting each other around or out, or, you know, that kind of investment, although that is important. More the investment is required, you know, to learn how to communicate well in relationships, to deal with your own stuff, to be open, to check in with the other person about them and their stuff and how it's going for them and all that kind of thing. You've got dance as well. Take inspiration from the moonlight dancing on the surface of the sea. So with the moon being mentioned there, you could be getting to know someone, dancing around each other kind of thing, but still unknown, still an unknown entity as to whether this is the right one for you or whether it'll go further. And perhaps that is the important part in this next step, is you ascertaining whether they are right for you or not. Now, that tending the garden, it's very mature, I would say, attending the garden message in all of this. Well, Page of Swords, you might have your eye on somebody here, or they've got their eye on you, and there's that whole dance. I feel like you're going to be in a dance with someone here. Very much getting to know each other from the outside with that Page of Swords. It's observing someone, it's getting to know someone, but not yet kind of committing to a relationship or being in that, you know, a relationship kind of thing. You're going to be pulled in two directions, says the Chariot card. So it's going to be part of you that is hopeful about it, a part of you that's kind of keeping a distance from them and not quite sure about it. Sounds like a healthy approach to me. And the World card. The World card is about ending a chapter and starting a new chapter. So let's get deeper into this. What is next for crystals? A Page of Swords. So there is this kind of keeping each other at a distance, I think. Perhaps an emotional distance until you get to know each other. Yeah, there you go. Four of Materials, holding your energy back. So it's keeping each other at a distance and just getting to know someone, you know, from a distance. You don't have to be like creepy about it, like stalking them or anything like that. It can be as a friendship, you know, getting to know them before. I feel like it's getting to know it before you invest in the actual relationship side of things. Before you invest in, like, saying, okay, we're together, and that decision, you know, being a mutual decision, of course, that probably needs to be discussed rather than just presuming that we're seeing each other if it heads into romantic territories or into the bed. Movement into balance is that. So perhaps you found balance in yourself and now you're looking to retain that balance but with someone else, and so you're more careful about who's coming in. Getting to know them first. I know that is something that I do personally with anyone, really. I mean, there are some people that come into my life and they've just got great energy and I open up straight away. But by far the majority, I'm pretty quiet when I first meet people. I need to suss them out first. Some people grow on me, some people do the opposite. So the Chariot, you're going to be pulled in two directions, and it feels very healthy, that to me. You're not going to be sure. You're going to be hopeful, but not sure. Told you. Star card. Hopeful, but not sure. Now, you might have heard stories of love at first sight, and I just knew when I first met them. Well, is that true? Can we do that? Is that playing the love lotto when we do that? As I said, there are some people, and there's very few, that come into my life and it's just, they've just got a great vibe and I'm just vibing with them straight away and I let them in. But I'm not talking just romance here, I'm talking friendships, anyone. So perhaps that is the love at first sight kind of a concept, friends at first sight, you know. There's a closeness, there's an openness at first sight, when people feel safe, you know. What's behind that? But should we know when we first meet someone whether they're going to be healthy for a relationship with us and whether we're going to be aligned with them, compatible with them? No, I don't think there's going to be an inner knowing. I think there's an inner knowing and a recognition and a bodily reaction to somebody that says, yes, I'll let this person in, you know, a gut feeling of safety, of like vibe, that kind of thing. But as to whether there's compatibility and all the rest of it, relationship skills, just all the rest of it, I don't think that you can ever know that. I think there is something that's an unknowing at first sight, first meeting. But not that it's going to be a healthy relationship from that. So there's letting go. There's a kind of growing up. There's a maturity in this. A letting go of perhaps concepts. It's like hopeful. I think that's a good thing to do. It's like be hopeful. It's like, well, I hope so. Rather than thinking this is definitely the one for me, I feel it. It's like, well, I've got some feelings for them. That's a great start. I hope it's going to grow into something more. I think that's way more healthy. So, end of chapter, start of a new chapter. Perhaps you're breaking free of a limerence kind of a stupidity about relationships. It could be that. Tell us about this world card. End of a chapter, start of a new chapter. Page of Voices. So yeah, definitely keeping your distance. Seeing someone, getting to know someone first. Nine of Inspiration, because you're coming to the end of a healing journey now. And Five of Materials is about having boundaries. Having boundaries and slowing things down, perhaps, and knowing when to say no, knowing how to choose that it's a no, knowing how to discern when somebody is a no or not. And so it feels very healthy, this reading. Feels very healthy. And we can slow things down, and we can keep people at somewhat of a distance, you know, and get to know them. And keep it in the friendship zone first, and then let it progress really slowly as we get to know them and let them in. And that way we're protecting ourselves. Not only that, we're protecting the relationship too. It's got a possibility of being a good one. What's behind that is home. Home. Right. Letting them into your home. Letting them in. Integrating them into your life and all of that kind of thing. Gradual progression. It seems, as I said, very healthy to me. Let's find out more. Oh. Freedom. There's nothing stopping you. The path is clear if you want it to be. Clearing away the weeds is what I just heard. You know when you see movies and they're going through the jungle and they get the big machete thing out and they start clearing the way. Clearing through all of that. All of the things that could come up. All of your past experiences, you know, of like, well, they could be like this. They could have this red flag and I just haven't seen it yet. You know, because we all do put our best front on, right? When we first meet someone, we start dating someone. We tend to anyway. We tend to tell them our best stories, you know, and try and impress them. And so we've got to recognize that we won't really know someone properly for the first few months until they relax with us and then let themselves be their true selves. That's when the red flags can start coming out. Now, if you've already got involved with someone from day dot, from the get-go, you're 3 months into it, you're connected with them, you know, you've got an attachment to them already, and then the red flags come out, and it's like, wow, that hurts. And it's not that the other person has hurt you, it's that your expectations have been dashed. So it's that feeling, it's just taking it too fast. Is the problem there, right? So take inspired action. So this taking inspired action, I'm getting a high priestess vibe from it. So you're going to know when it's time to take it to the next level. But no rushing needs to happen with that. What am I doing next? One of these. Tell us what's next for crystals, please. Hope again. Yeah. So you can be positive about it. I'm not talking about being pessimistic about relationships. I'm not talking about, you know, keeping people away, deflecting them, being avoidant like that. It's just slowing things down and being hopeful, being positive about it. And romance, hopeful for romance. And letting yourself experience the romance perhaps as well, unless that just sucks you in too fast and you end up going in your limerence fantasies and making them out to be someone that they're not. Now, cynicism. It doesn't surprise me that this card has come out, because I think that some of you might be questioning yourselves in this approach. Like, am I just being cynical? Am I being too picky? Have I turned into someone that's like not open anymore? That kind of thing. Old wounds, because of old wounds. So have I just been wounded? Like, we've all been wounded. Wow. Romantic relationships, friendships, families, society, everything. So it's so many wounds, right? And we've got to heal ourselves. But you might be questioning yourself, and I think unfairly, of whether you're being too cynical. I think there's a balance to be had. There's always a balance to be had, right? Not being overly cynical, not being overly positive, and just being real and being in the moment. I think that's the best we can do, is to be in the moment. Okay, I'm going to do things a little bit differently now. Because in the deeper dive, I'm going to get into somebody's energy that's coming your way, the object of your attention with all of this hope. But in here, I am going into, what is next in love for you? And you got Dear Spirit, it's bringing a more gentle touch. And I'm feeling like it's not gentle with the other person, not being rough with them either, but it's more about being gentle with yourself. Tending to yourself, not putting yourself in situations where it's going to break your heart, taking it slow enough so that it doesn't do that. Sure, you're going to be disappointed. But I think if you're holding hope for a relationship as you're getting to know them, when the red flags come up and you see them, if you've not like gone all in with them already, it's not going to hurt as much. There's going to be a bit of disappointment there for sure, but it's not going to hurt as much as when you're going all in. So being gentle with yourself, taking care of yourself, and not taking so many risks with your heart, Peacock Spirit, let it shine, and you're going to shine more brightly as a result. Now, that is interesting, because you're shining more brightly as a result when you're taking things slower and you're more careful with yourself and you're raising your standards. Because I'm getting you guys, you're picky. You've raised your standards to a certain extent, and now your standards need to be raised in your behavior to kind of match up to that. And what I've noticed is when you respect yourself, other people respect you too. Let me tell you a little story. Years ago, a friend of mine, she was living in a share house, and as the only woman in the share house, she was doing a lot more than she should have done, right, for all the guys in the share house too. So I think we've all experienced that kind of thing in various different ways. Now, sometimes I would go around there, and one particular offender that would let her do everything. When I was around there, like if I needed something, he would get it for me, or he'd do. I remember one time I spilled something and he rushed to clean it up for me, and she was like, she couldn't believe it that he was doing something for me, and I'd been there 5 minutes, and she's there doing these things all the time, and he doesn't do anything for her or even for himself in the house. And it's exactly that difference, is that I've got like self-respect, and when you have that self-respect, other people start treating you really good too. So you're going to be shinier with more reluctant energy, really. It is. It's like holding that Empress energy. What else? You're going to be more attractive, sometimes people can make it into a game. You know what I mean? They'll notice, the ones that are holding themselves back a little bit more, they're the ones that get the better guys. And so if I just hold myself back, and it's like, no, it's not a game like that. You've actually got to have that energy, and not just pretend to have that energy and be playing the game. Interesting. Dolphin Spirit, this and that are true. That is that Chariot energy of it's okay to be pulled in two directions, and that's normal, because we're going to get together with a human being, and we've all got flaws, right? And so it's not an absence of flaws. A flaw isn't a red flag. There's red flags, there's flaws in people that show us that we can't have a healthy relationship with them, for sure. And that's going to be different for everyone. So what triggers you might not trigger me, and vice versa. So this and that are true. You're going to have to, I think, resign yourself to the fact that you're not looking for perfection. looking for a human being who's going to be human. They're going to have some annoying traits about them, but it can be true at the same time as them being the right one for you and healthy for a relationship for you. And scarab beetle spirit, magic works through you. So you need to know, this is like the magician card. If you have a strong determination to get like a healthy relationship or whatever it is that you want to get married or, you know, commitment or whatever it is, then the universe is going to be trying to move you in that direction and get you there. Let's find out some deeper stuff. What's next? What's coming up next for you, like inner work kind of thing? Further to what I've already said, or reinforcing what I've already said. Hearing inner guidance. Again, that is that High Priestess energy that I was picking up before of taking inspired action, of like knowing when to take it to the next stage, but not rushing yourself, because rush always comes from fear. Like, oh, that's going to slip through my fingers. I need to rush into it. My intuition flows whenever I'm still. So it's being still and present, slowing things down. There's invoking self-realization. You're going to learn a lot from this. It says each breath confirms how awake I already am. But you're going to learn a lot about yourself from this. Anything else? Overcoming fear. I will transcend every loss. So fears that you've had through loss, through relationships that haven't worked out, you'll be transcending that. And perhaps realizing how you got things wrong. Perhaps by not having this balanced viewpoint, or by not getting to know them first and by rushing into that, you know. Sometimes it can just make things better. Instead of us feeling like I was wronged by this person, when we see our side and it's like, well, perhaps if I was just taking it slower, then I would have dodged that bullet. I wouldn't have got connected to them if I've just left a little bit longer, you know? Or if I'd have given myself the time to notice that red flag first, to get beyond that honeymoon stage of them trying to impress me. Anchoring the light. The light is always within me. You got the love within you and you deserve to be loved back, but sometimes the way that we go about it isn't going to get us that love that we want. And I feel like this is a very mature approach, or you're going to be maturing in your approach. What if that sounds like it is your story, could be a story, want it to be a story, and you'll want even more on the person that I'm talking about, that is going to be the object of your affections, interest, then you might want to get that deeper dive for even more. If you do, I'll pop a link for it up there. There's also a link for that in the description box and in the comments below. It's 20 Australian dollars, which is about 15 American dollars right now, and it's an instant watch kind of a thing. You do need to type your email address in very carefully. If you get that wrong, you will not receive it. Now, the email, it might end up in your inbox, but it might end up in your spam, junk, or promotions folder. Do check those places. In that email, you will see a link to the crystal, the flower, and the shell. Click on the crystal. On advice that you can open PDFs with. In that PDF, amongst other things, you'll see a picture of a video, and when you click on that, if it doesn't take you right away to a video, just try it on a different device and it will. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to click like before you click off down there. Click that subscribe button if you're new and leave a comment. That'll get you an entry into that prize draw for a free reading with me at the end of the month. So good luck with that. As we'll get in that deeper dive as well, that'll get you entered into the second prize draw each month as well. So 2 chances to win a full private reading with me worth 160 Australian dollars with this video. But if this is where you're leaving me, if you're not getting that deeper dive and coming with me there, then I will see you next time, and good luck with all of this. And if you're coming with me to that deeper dive, then I'll see you in there very shortly. So if you chose the flower, then this one's for you. Flowers, let's find out what's coming up next in your love life, because I do believe our love life is like a series of lessons in self-love, getting to know ourselves, not getting to know and relationship skills. And I think it's a path, you know, it's like there's a relationship path to the relationship that we truly want. And so what is coming up next for you? Let's find that out. Now, as usual, flowers, there's going to be a deeper dive to this. That's an extended reading that goes with it. If you find that it is your story, could be a story, you want it to be a story, you might want to get that for even more, and I'll tell you about your person in that. If you do, toward the end of the reading, I'll be popping a link for it up there. There's also a link for that in the description box below. But let's get straight into it for you guys. The gift of connection. So there is going to be a connection with somebody is your next step. It's going to feel like a gift. It's going to feel good. Perhaps something that you've been waiting for a while as well, some of you. which is why it's going to feel like a gift. Perhaps treasure it more because it's not perhaps it's been a long time. Night magic. Now, what I'm getting from this is it could come along at a time when you are especially vulnerable or especially open. Could be vulnerability, it doesn't have to be though. Like night magic. I'm getting a holiday vibe from it. If you're not on holiday, it could be when you're just like cutting loose and going out with your friends. And so there's a holiday vibe about it. With that night magic, I feel like you're going to meet them when you're in a different state than you usually are. Not like state as in states in a country, but a different like mindset and a different openness, and just in a holiday kind of a vibe. You might be on holiday, perhaps a little bit more open than usual. Someone's going to come in. It's going to feel like a gift. Tell us more. What else? For flowers. There we go. Chance. It's a chance meeting. When you're especially open, it might be a really unusual meeting as well with that night magic. Bump into each other. It's the stuff of movies, you know, when there's a really bizarre way that you first bump into each other. The Ten of Swords, painful endings or end of the pain. Four of Pentacles, holding your energy back. Tell us more. King of Wands, they're determined. This is their energy, so they're showing up as the King of Wands. Okay. King of Wands is someone that's determined. They take action. They claim what it is that they want. So they could be in hot pursuit of you here. But what's this Ten of Swords in your energy? Painful endings. Perhaps you'll be a bit wary, but hopeful. Give us more about the Ten of Swords there. Ace of Inspiration. Okay, a lot of passion, perhaps passionate about the same things, passionate start. There's going to be a draw for you to this person, like attracted to them, very drawn to them. Star energy and hopeful about it as well. But there's a bit of your past pain there that comes up that might have you pulling back. And we've got the Four of Pentacles, so for sure there's a pulling back energy. But let's find out about this hope and the passion. And it's like I'm attracted to them, and it's like, oh, but I'm scared because of the past. Forgiveness, okay, is behind that. So you haven't forgiven someone that you were attracted to in a similar kind of a way, and so they're going to push your buttons in that kind of a way. So perhaps so attracted to them or into the same things, passionate about the same things, and you've got an ex that is also like that too, and that might bring out the fear in you of, oh well, if they're into the same things in a big way as I am, then they might cheat on me like that one did. You know, we can't put those things together, but our nervous systems are going to, our subconscious brains are going to, our subconscious minds are going to put them together. So the fear is going to arise in you because of that. But a part of you is going to be hopeful about it too. So this and that are true at the same time, right? I'm afraid, but I also want to go for this too. And the Four of Pentacles, so you're going to hold your energy back. Tell us more about this holding your energy back. Four of Emotions, so avoid disappointments. So you think it's a love match. Right. So you don't want to mess this one up, so you're going to hold your energy back. You think it's a love match, but you don't want to be disappointed. You're hoping that it's going to be a big offer. So I think like you're going to wait for them to come at you right, that kind of thing. But it's interesting that I was getting like a chance meeting. The universe might orchestrate this as a chance meeting where to kind of get you moving on it instead of acting on your fears. It could just be that. Tell us what's behind that. Is discernment and duality. So this and that are true at the same time. So you're fearing, but also attracted to them, and you've got to make a good decision, right? And of course not listen to the fears, but then we don't want to throw caution to the wind completely and just, you know, and go all in too. So there's that need for discernment. Now getting into their energy, King of Wands showing up as the King of Wands. So passionate, and they take an action taker, and they're in pursuit and all of that kind of thing. The Sun, they're trying to make you happy. And the Muse of Materials, they've got stability as well. So they're putting effort in to make you happy. Now, for some of you, this Ten of Swords, if you've had relationships with narcissists before, this kind of an energy, I'm secure, I've got a lot to offer, I'm the King of Pentacles as well as the King of Wands, very attractive, right? And they make you happy as well. Could appear to be a love bomber, and you might need to take it slowly because of that too, if you've got those wounds, and that someone being good to you and making you happy and making you laugh and all of those kind of things is, I think you're going to be in two minds with all of this because of that gift of connection you're going to recognize, and the attraction and all of that, and it could be a love match and you're just hoping about that. But there's this, oh, but they remind me of an ex because of something good about them. They remind you of an ex, and you're going to feel the fear because of that. Self-love and letting go is behind that. So allowing the good things in. It's going to be tricky for you to allow the good things in, and to overcome your fear and put your fear in its place. I think that's what we need to do, is not push our fear down, but like examine it and go, well, is this true? Or is it just like, putting 2 and 2 together and making, I don't know, 82. Are they love bombing when they're doing this? Or is it just someone who's kind, who is a happy kind of a person? It's up to you to discern that and to love yourself and know and trust your self-love as well, so that you make a good decision in any moment. If they start showing you red flags, then you change your mind about them, right? Trust yourself to be in the moment. Tell us more. Tell us more about what's next. Wow, Twin Flames. The Twin Flames card, this could be a very, only time will tell. This could be the one for you, but only time will tell. You get to choose that, right? How interesting those both came out together. It fell in my lap too. Release your block. I think this person is going to fall in your lap. Perhaps literally, you might be out with your friends and they trip over and fall in your lap. That would be funny. That would be funny. Release your blocks. Right. So again, it's about addressing the fears, isn't it? So you've got blocks because of bad experiences that you've got, pain that you've experienced in past relationships, and it's about getting to know the blocks as it comes up, getting to know those fears, addressing it as in, is this fear true? Like, is my nervous system and my subconscious mind making a valid connection here between these two? Or is it just that they've got dark hair and my ex had dark hair, and dark hair doesn't make someone a bad person, right? Doesn't mean that they're going to cheat because they've got dark hair. It's that kind of thing we need to process and go, is my nervous system onto something here? Or is it just making it up because they've got, they wear the same kind of shoes as my ex? Or they tell jokes and make me laugh. Oh no, that must mean they're terrible. Really, we've got to know our nervous systems and our subconscious mind are going to go to the negative. They're trying to preserve us. They're trying to protect us. And so it'll always try and make connections, like this berry made me sick. I won't eat that berry again. And this thing looks like a snake. I should run away from it. And this one really ripped my heart out, and he had dark hair. And so, it's stuff like that. So spark and regrets. There you go. So there's something about how attracted you are to this person, the spark in between you, that gives you the fears. But self-worth, knowing what it is that you deserve. It's interesting, isn't it? Because sometimes when the exact thing that we want comes along, it can bring out the most fears. You're getting a lot of self-love cards out here, self-love, self-worth. Not wanting someone to use you, being on the lookout for that. So loving yourself, and when we get into that mode of just like loving ourselves and not trusting anyone else because we're afraid that someone's going to use us, perhaps we were open to being used before and would put way too much into relationships before, and that's how we ended up getting hurt. I do think that you're going to be all over this, I mean, I think you get to decide with this person. But it's about confronting the fears and then seeing if they're really true or not. Some of them will be. Like the love bombing thing, if that is you, then you really need to keep an eye out for that. If you are susceptible to that, what would make us susceptible to love bombing? Well, if we are not love deficit, if we've never been loved right, we're going to be susceptible to that. We're going to think, oh, this person, they're giving me everything, and they must be the one because they are like loving me right, and it feels like loving you right, but it's not loving you right. Here's the thing: is if someone can love you right, they've got a lot of self-love, and they're not going to love bomb. They're going to be open for sure, but they're not going to invest like way too much right at the start before they even know you. Yeah. So there are ways, and there are ways that make us susceptible to love bombing too. Because let's not forget, the narcissists do tend to target those like loving, open, giving people, the naive ones, you know. Dragonfly spirit, truth transcends illusion. So it's getting to your truth. So it's neither believing your fears or rejecting them. It's getting to the truth of them. Is this true or not? It's inquiry, personal inquiry. Hang on, what is this I'm feeling? Let me check in on this. Is this true or not? Is this fear like legit or not? It could be legit, but it might not be, you know. I was going to say probably not, but it might not be. It's not even probably. It's like you've got to discern that. Vulture spirit, nothing is wasted, and even if it doesn't work out, it's not wasted because you've got the practice of tuning into yourself and feeling it as like, what is this fear about? Okay. What else? Moth spirit, surrender now. Something about going with the flow here. And nightingale spirit, love is all around. Plenty more fish in the sea if you discern that this one has got, if your fears are valid. Okay. Tell us more, please. For flowers. I'm born of infinite joy, receiving elation, and allowing yourself to be loved as well, and to have good times. Grounding my energy. It's safe for me to be in my body. So trusting yourself more, feeling the feelings that you're feeling, questioning them, and being in your body, being present in your body, and getting used to that, which means connecting in with those visceral reactions that we have, you know, when we first get around someone and we're attracted to them. Sometimes it's fear that we feel, the butterflies in the stomach and all of that kind of thing. And so it's worth like inquiring in yourself about that as well, and unraveling codependency. Only I have to feel good about my choices. So you taking your power and making your own choices here, and just you feeling good about it, and not trying to love and please the other person. So just because they love you doesn't mean you've got to make yourself available to them. That's probably how you've been used in the past. So not making it all about their relationship needs, making it about your relationship needs too. That's an important thing to do. Activating the third eye. I'm willing to see beyond my beliefs, ideas, and conclusions. So it's really looking into that. It's all about self-inquiry. So it's about the fears coming up, and instead of ignoring them fears and just doing it, or doing them, getting into it. And not also caving into those fears and going, oh no, this means that I definitely shouldn't go there. Is being safe within your body, questioning that, is this true or not? It's a very powerful thing to do. I'm willing to see beyond my beliefs, ideas, and conclusions. Bit of a game changer, this one for you, next in your love life. Now, if that sounds like it is your story, could be a story, want it to be a story, you might want to get that deeper dive for even more. In the deeper dive, I'm going to go into person, this King of Wands. Let's get into their energy. I'm going to do exactly the same thing again, in fact, but it's all about your person this time, and let's find out all about them. Now, if you want that, I'll pop a link for it up there. There's also a link for that in the description box and in the comments below. It's 20 Australian dollars, which is about 15 American dollars right now, and it's an instant watch kind of a thing. You do need to type your email address in very carefully, because if you get that wrong, you will not receive it. Now, the email, it might end up in your inbox, but it might end up in your spam, junk, or promotions folder. Do check those places. In that email, you will see a link to the crystal, the flower, and the shell. Click on the flower. on your device that you can open PDFs with. In that PDF, amongst other things, you'll see a picture of a video, and when you click on that, if it doesn't take you right away to a video, then just try it on a different device and it will. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to click like before you click off down there. Click that subscribe button if you're new and leave a comment. That'll get you an entry into that prize draw for a free reading with me at the end of the month, as we'll get in that deeper dive as well, because that'll get you an entry into the second prize draw too. So 2 chances to win with this reading. One of those full readings with me, private readings, which is worth 160 Australian dollars. So good luck with all of that, and good luck with all of this if this is where you're leaving me. But if you're coming with me to that deeper dive read for even more about your person, then I'll see you in there very shortly. So if you chose the Shell, this one's for you. Shells, let's find out what's coming up next in your love life, because I do believe that a lot of love lives are a progression of us learning about ourselves, learning how to love ourselves, learning what to choose, who to choose, what not to choose anymore, and learning about relationship skills too. And I think it's a progression. You know, we meet who we're meant to meet along that path of learning until we get to that relationship that we want to stick with, that we lock in. So let's find out what's next for you. Now, as usual, Charles, is going to be a deeper dive. That's an extended reading that goes with it. If you find that it is your story, could be a story, want it to be a story, might want to get that for even more. If you do, toward the end of the reading, I'll be popping a link for it up there. There's also a link for that in the description box and in the comments below. Getting straight into your reading. What's coming up next? Time to restore. Okay. And beauty of age. So you taking a mature approach and restoring yourself, piecing yourself back together. Piecing yourself back together with the maturity and the things that you've learned from your most recent endeavors in love. Tell us more, please. For Shells. Next in the love life. Seeker. Seeker. Isn't always about seeking another partner. Seeker, to me, is often about seeking the truth about something, or, you know, seeking a deeper spiritual awareness about something, about ourselves, or trying to find the why as to what went on. It feels very reflective about the past, this, and I think perhaps you're going to be reflecting on the past, something that you've just previously been through. What else? Generosity. Stillness, dive and communicate. So generosity. For some of you, have you had an experience with someone where they were generous at first and then they kind of withdrew that? It's like made you believe that they were generous when they actually weren't, or they didn't keep it up for long. It could be that stillness. It's like they stopped. In calm waters, everything becomes clear. Or you might be just looking back at that, and because sometimes if they give to us early on, we can remember those things, and then we cannot recognize when they stop giving and still think, but they did this in the past, and not realizing that we can consistently giving still, and they stopped a while ago. Could be that. Dive. You don't find pearls on the seashore. You don't find pearls on the seashore. You got to go deeper. You got to go. I don't know how this person showed in your life, but perhaps it was too easy to find them. You know what I mean? Perhaps they showed up right in front of you. The things left unsaid will never reach the shore. Perhaps there's some clearing up to do in this relationship, and some truths that need to be spoken in time once you've figured it out yourself. Well, let's help you with that. Tell us more, please. What's next in Shell's love life? It feels like clear up on L6 job kind of to me. The Chariot, pulled in 2 directions. And the Empress. So this is about you holding your head up high, knowing what it is that you deserve. And perhaps if your self-worth has taken an impact, which it can do if we recognize that someone stopped giving to us, it really can make us feel bad, right? And we can think it's us. Why did they stop giving to me? What's wrong with me? Or it's probably something wrong with them. Next is the Hanged Man. Changing your mind about something, seeing things from a different perspective. It's the aha. It's the making sense of something now. Okay. So you've got some clearing up here to do from a previous relationship. Feels like a recent thing to me. It might not even be that recent in terms of time, but it's A recent hurt is what it feels like. So the Chariot pulled in two directions, in two minds. It's not black and white. This and that are true at the same time. Very attracted to them, the Ace of Inspiration. This is really good chemistry. And the Star, I was really hopeful about it because of that. But the Empress, I deserve better than that. Why didn't they give me better than that? Right? So I feel like you came across somebody, it was a little bit too easy, like they were put in front of you, like you met them. I don't know. It just feels like it was an easy connection and very attracted to each other, and you thought it could be more than that. Feels like you got involved with someone too fast here based on Ace of Inspiration, which is the phallus card. It is the I fancy you, let's go kind of thing. And then hoping that they're going to be compatible with you or anything. So starting something off by, I mean, you want like passion and stuff like that, right? You want to be attracted to each other, wanting to feel wanted and all of that kind of thing. That is important, yeah, but with the hope card, it feels like you got in it based on that and then hoping that it was going to turn into more instead of discerning that it could be more before acting on that. Yeah, the Empress, and then realizing that you deserved more. Okay, so then you realize that you're the Empress, and it's like, well, Empress, what you doing? Like, just what you doing? How can I say this nicely? What are you doing being one of those people that get into relationships very easily? What you doing being easy is what, is an Empress acts like an Empress. I think you guys, you're on your way to Empresshood, and you are realizing what becomes an Empress, the kind of behaviors that go along with the Empress. It's all very well knowing like we deserve more and knowing what it is that we deserve, but unless we're actually behaving like that too, we can respect ourselves, but unless we're actually doing the things that someone that's self-respecting does, then there is something that's out of alignment, We can feel something about ourselves all we like, but if we're not changing our behaviors and what we do, then there is that incongruity going on. There's emotional release behind that as well. So yeah, I think you're going to be getting to the bottom of your behavior not matching the internals. What this means is you've been doing the inner work to become the Empress, you've been in self-love and all of that kind of thing, and now you're catching up with the behaviors of what an Empress does in relationships, of not being easy, of not letting someone just come in so easily without offering you something real or getting to know you properly first and all of that kind of thing. It's like, oh, perhaps an Empress doesn't respond to what you do in text at 2 a.m. It's that kind of thing. It's just that kind of thing. I'm not saying that you've been doing that, but it's that kind of thing. So Empress, this is about you. And I think, like I said at the start of this, I think that's what we do. We learn self-love, we learn to heal ourselves, we learn to be more discerning what we do want in a relationship, what we don't want in a relationship, how to recognize that, how to choose someone that's compatible and how to go about it. But it's also about relationship skills too, about communication, about how to go about relationships so it's got a hope in hell chance of working, which we do need to take slowly, right? So the Empress awakening, yeah. So you are in your awakening as the Empress, and it's just putting all the other pieces together of the Empress behavior is what it is where you're at the moment. So it's what I already said. There's a calling for you to be the Empress. The awakening card is a calling, a spiritual calling to be that Empress. And well, you got your training wheels on for that at the moment, and you're doing the work to become the Empress still. Reunion of souls and abundance is behind that too. Interesting. Yeah, to bring in the right people, your person, your emperor to your empress, you need to fully become the Empress, fully fledged Empress. And abundance as well. Perhaps your abundance is coming in as a result of that too. The more you are the Empress, the more your abundance comes in, because you're owning that. Hangman, so there's a new perspective. You're going to see things from a new perspective of your Empresshood. Empress with training wheels. That's what you are. It's great. I mean, and there are many things to being an Empress. You don't just become it like that. It takes a lot of work, doesn't it? Night of emotions, romance coming towards you from that. So when when you've truly got this and you see it from a different perspective, or you have that aha, or, you know, putting those final pieces of the Empress jigsaw into place in yourself, romance is going to come towards you. Oh, it's about romance. Okay. So you might have become the Empress. You might be becoming the Empress in your work and in your friendship groups and all of that first, then proceeding with it in your romantic relationships. You might have tried to start out with it in your romantic relationships and that didn't cut it. Sexual energy is behind that. So there's that pull to take it to being an Empress in a romantic relationship before you fully embodied that Empresshood in every other aspect of your lives. I'm hoping that you're understanding what I'm saying here. So you guys, you've got that queen energy of becoming the divine feminine. It's a spiritual calling that you've got. You've been heeding that, probably been doing a lot of inner work as a result, and had a lot of lessons as a result as well. Needing to find self-love, perhaps at a level that most other people don't need to find it, so you've had more challenges than most, but there's a spiritual calling to be the Empress, and you're not quite there yet, and that's okay. But trying to be it first in romantic relationships, probably because you've been feeling the lack of it in romantic relationships. It's where it hits you most, right? Of not being respected and stuff like that. Okay. So the past is now behind you. Release it and embrace new possibilities. A new path is now available to you. Follow it with faith. So you're hearing this calling. You're saying, yep, that's me. I know. The Empress always shows up in my readings. I'm on the Empress path. I get it. It's calling to you, and past is now behind you. So keep on moving forward. You're not a failure in that. You're just still learning. Training wheels. I'm telling you. You've got your Empress training wheels. Breathe through the tension. And I feel that's the sexual energy. So it does make it tricky, doesn't it? Because we're going through these spiritual lessons and all of that kind of thing. And we've got all of this stuff going on inside of ourselves and the inner work. Yet we're in these human bodies with sexual urges, with hormones and stuff. And it's tricky. It's like, well, you say, you know, to take my time and all of that kind of thing. But here I am, a woman with urges, breathing through that tension. Influence and strings attached. Influenced by strings attached. What's that? Seems like someone's told you that you're not going to get what you want here, and you're influenced by someone and you've believed them. Like there's always going to be strings attached. There's always going to be something. Someone's told you that. It might be true for some of you. If you're resonating with that, if someone told you, it could be psychic, that there's always going to be strings attached, that you can't get what it is that you want, that you're looking for something that's impossible or something like that. Yeah, don't believe that person. Irresistibility and independence. You make yourself irresistible to others when you claim your independence, when you're a whole being. So it's almost like playing harder to get, but not doing it as a game, doing it because you're the Empress. Because you know your worth, and you're giving yourself your worth and all of that kind of thing. And so you'll only let like fantastic people into your life that are offering you even more than that. So that, it was easy for you to get into this relationship. The easiness that I was getting from that, it's not the same as this. Independence is more like, you know, I'm good by myself. It's like, unless you're bringing something extra into my life, I'm not going to entertain you because I'm the Empress. It's more like that kind of an energy. Tell us more for Shells. What's going on for Shells next? Dear Spirit, bringing a gentle touch. Wow, this one's come out for everyone. It's been the first card for all. Crystal Flower and Shell. So being gentle with yourself is what that is. Bringing gentle touch, being, yeah, more gentle, more more feminine, more soft, more open, more gentle. And a turkey spirit, giving with gratitude and grace. There's that generosity thing. So there is something about generosity for you to look at here. Turkey spirit. See, the turkey spirit sometimes comes out with greed and things like that. It's the dark side of it. So greed. If you're the Empress, you're going to attract all kinds of people, people that want some of the good stuff that you've got. And if you are a generous person, then you might end up being used by people. So just watch out for that. Dove spirit, be at peace with where you're at the moment. Be at peace with where you're at the moment. Be gentle with yourself right now. Like, you're not doing terribly wrong, and I'm not trying to call you out in this in this reading at all. It's just saying that there's more to learn yet. Crow spirit, crow spirit, co-create with spirit is what it says. Yeah, you are being led in the right direction here. You're already on the path to being the Empress. I guess this reading is just to give you clarity on how to become the Empress in relationships. Embodying my soul, you do have a spirit's calling for this. I have a right to be excited. You do. You do. It does feel like you're on a twin flame path to divine feminine emperors coming together with a divine masculine emperor. Liberating love. I allow myself to receive all the fulfillment I'm willing to give. That's that generosity coming back at you, you know. Allowing it in, allowing yourself to be treated like that as you would treat someone else. And receiving elation. I'm born of infinite joy. Someone that's going to make you really happy. What else? Anything else? Doesn't feel like it. It's not those. Okay, well, that is what I've got for you. Well, if that sounds like it is your story, could be a story, you want it to be a story. Are you an Empress in training? Feels that way to me. You might want to get that deeper dive. In the deeper dive, I'm going to go into your person, okay? I'm going to go into, well, you're restoring from a past person, but I don't want to focus on that person. I want to focus on your Emperor and give you information about that. So if you are interested in that, I'll pop a link for it up there. I'm just going to do the same thing again, but for your person, your Emperor. There's also a link for that in the description box and in the comments below. It's 20 Australian dollars, which is about 15 American dollars right now, and is an instant watch kind of a thing. You do need to type your email address in very carefully. Get that wrong, you won't receive it. Now the email, it might end up in your inbox, but it might end up in your spam, junk, or promotions folder. Do check those places. In that email, you will see a link to the crystal, flower, and the shell. Click on the shell. On your device, you can open PDFs with. In that PDF, amongst other things, you'll see a picture of a video, and when you click on that, if it doesn't take you right away to a video, just try it on a different device, and it will. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to click like. Before you click off down there, click that subscribe button if you're new, and leave a comment. That'll get you an entry into that prize draw for a free reading with me at the end of the month. As we'll get in that deeper dive as well, that'll get you entered into the second prize draw for a free reading with me. 2 chances to win a private reading worth 160 Australian dollars. So good luck with that. But if this is where you're leaving me, good luck with all of this. If you're coming with me to that deeper dive read, then I'll see you in there very shortly.